Tears would silently start spilling down my face on the way home from swim practice. Every night was the same. My chest would tighten and my stomach, gripped in terror, contracted. My eyes feverishly pierced the darkness looking for the car. If it sat in the driveway, I wanted to be anywhere but home. If the car was gone, I could breathe a huge sigh of relief. Opening the door, I knew I would confront either the TV and snoring or uncoordinated movements and incoherent babbling. Generally, if it was quiet, I felt relieved that the evening would be calm. But if his eyes were crazy and unfocused, with words slurring, then the evening would be a wild ride plummeting through the black abyss. As a child of an alcoholic, I became self-reliant and protective of those around me. Most of all, being challenged to survive unthinkable moments helped me learn to accept human weaknesses with a forgiving heart. I don't precisely remember when his addiction started. Regardless, it slowly devoured our family, crumbling us into tiny, fractured pieces. Late at night, I listened to the irrational, nonsensical yelling. My father berated my mother, and she occasionally would unwisely retort in anger. At times, there was physical violence, which merely symbolized the broken dreams of my childhood. It was difficult to focus on school. My mom, sister, and I formed our own survival network. Because I felt it was my job to protect my little sister, we formed our own strategic alliance. Huddling together at night, tears would spill down our faces. I would always tell her it was going to be okay, and I would always be there for her. All of this ended one day when my mother announced she filed for divorce and my father entered rehab for 60 days. In the end, my parents divorced. My father has remained sober since. The sun burned my eyes as I looked out the window. The car was pulling into the driveway. I found Olivia and squeezed her. This was going to be a new beginning. When I first saw my father after his intervention, there was a whirlwind of emotions. At first, my lips curved into a smile, but slowly faded. I hated him for what he had done, and let him know how I felt. In the ensuing years, he would invite me to concerts and frequently call in hopes of repairing our relationship. But the only thanks he got was an "I hate you." I remained angry with him and remembered how his weaknesses had torn our family apart. But after watching my mother's generous spirit towards my father, by helping him find new jobs and giving him encouraging words, I tried my best to make peace with him. His invite suddenly came to life and the mending of our relationship began. Throughout this process, I have learned about forgiveness and harnessing the strength to overcome. It is still a work in progress, but now instead of tears when I see the car in the driveway, I run inside to get my hug.